What's okay? Shutdown at home, organizing overseas. In the aftermath of the Sharpeville massacre and the government crackdown that followed, the ANC leadership charged Oliver Tambo, the organization's deputy president, with the task of beginning to organize overseas. With protests nearly impossible within the country and so many top ANC leaders in prison, Tambo looked for new ways to fight against the apartheid regime. Making use of a home base in London, he lobbied international leaders to speak out against the brutality in his homeland. Almost immediately, Tambo and all British anti-apartheid movement activists organized to have South Africa removed from the British Commonwealth, an intergovernmental organization made up of countries that were formerly part of the British Empire, a move that succeeded in 1961. At the same time, activists began to lobby against South Africa in the United Nations, winning a 1962 vote at the UN General Assembly for a trade ban on South Africa. A partial arms ban followed a year later. Further international pressure against South Africa's discriminatory policies came from the International Olympic Committee, which first suspended South Africa from participating in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics, and then formally banned the country from the Olympics in 1970. The ANC, with Tambo's leadership, eventually set up 27 overseas missions. However, diplomacy was only one part of the strategy. In 1965, the countries of Tanzania and Zambia agreed to let ANC's unofficial armed wing, Umkhonto weSizwe (MK), set up paramilitary training camps. Under the leadership of Abang Bedi, I can't click my tongue so I can't say that right, and Joe Slovo, a South African Jew whose family immigrated from Lithuania, the MK sought to bring what they called an armed struggle to South Africa. In the late 1960s, though, South Africa was surrounded by neighbors that were allies of the apartheid government, making it difficult for fighters to make it into the country. An official history of the ANC describes the situation. The ANC Consulate Conference in Morogoro, Tanzania in 1969 looked for solutions to this problem. The Morogoro Conference called for an all-round struggle. Both armed struggle and mass political struggle had to be used to defeat the enemy. But the armed struggle and the revival of mass struggle depended on building ANC underground structures within the country. A fourth aspect of the all-around struggle was the campaign for international support and assistance from the rest of the world. These four aspects were often called the four pillars of struggle. The non-racial character of the ANC was further consolidated by the opening up of the ANC membership to non-Africans. I want to shut down at home, organizing over